Welcome to This Explainer. I'm your host, and today we're covering some really difficult breaking news out of the entertainment world. Hollywood, along with millions of fans globally, is mourning a truly devastating loss. Kaylee Hottle, the breakout deaf actress who captured our hearts as Gia in the blockbuster Godzilla franchise, has tragically passed away at just 18 years old. We're dedicating today's Explainer to honoring her memory. We'll break down the facts of this heartbreaking tragedy and, more importantly, reflect on the incredible, trailblazing legacies she leaves behind.
To help you follow along, we're going to walk through the timeline of how this tragic news broke, take a look at the massive outpouring of tributes from Hollywood, review her groundbreaking career, and finally, talk about the incredible strength and grace her family is showing right now.
So, let's start with the hard facts of how this heartbreaking news actually broke. On Tuesday, July 21st, the entertainment world basically came to a complete standstill. 18-year-old actress Kaylee Hottle was tragically killed in a single-vehicle car crash in Frederick County, Maryland. Emergency responders rushed to the scene in the early morning hours, but despite the urgent and immediate efforts of medical personnel, Kaylee was pronounced deceased. It's just a sobering, painful reminder of how fragile life really is, especially when we lose such a bright talent at such a young age. Now, the way the public learned of this tragedy was incredibly heartbreaking. The news was first broken by Kaylee's father, Joshua Hottle. Coming from an all-deaf family, Joshua actually conducted a deeply emotional Facebook livestream entirely in American Sign Language. He titled it, "I am taking a flight that I never would like to take." He shared this painful update with her fans while he was literally traveling to claim his daughter's body. It was a moment of raw, vulnerable grief shared directly with a world that absolutely loved her.
The devastation was felt immediately in her local community, too. Given her massive blockbuster success, it's actually really easy to forget that Kaylee was still just a high school student. She was right in the middle of completing her senior year at the Texas School for the Deaf. Shortly after the news broke, the school released an official statement saying, "Our hearts are with Kaylee's family, friends, classmates, and everyone who knew and loved her during this incredibly difficult time. Please keep Kaylee's loved ones in your thoughts as we mourn this tremendous loss together."
Unsurprisingly, as the news spread, an immediate outpouring of grief came from her co-stars and the broader entertainment industry.
Kaylee deeply impacted the people she worked with. Actress Rebecca Hall, who played her adoptive mother, Dr. Eileen Andrews, in the Godzilla films, shared a moving tribute on Instagram. She wrote, "Devastated to hear this news. My heart goes out to your family. You will be missed, Kaylee." And here's something that really speaks to her presence on set. Both Rebecca Hall and co-star Alexander Skarsgård actually made it a point to learn American Sign Language during production. They did this specifically so they could communicate directly with Kaylee, creating a really close-knit, inclusive environment for her.
That sentiment was absolutely echoed across the rest of the cast. Fellow Godzilla star Millie Bobby Brown also took to social media to share her heartbreak, writing, "I'm so devastated to hear this. You will be deeply missed, Kaylee." You can see a clear pattern here. These are seasoned Hollywood actors who were genuinely moved by this young woman's spirit and talent.
But the devastation didn't stop with her immediate co-stars. It rippled through the broader culture, especially within the deaf community. Tributes poured in from absolute titans of deaf representation in Hollywood. We're talking Oscar winner Marlee Matlin, Academy Award winner Troy Kotsur, and Marvel star Alaqua Cox. They didn't just mourn a fellow actor, they celebrated Kaylee as a bright young light who kicked down massive doors for deaf representation in major big-budget studio cinema. She proved, without a doubt, that deaf actors can anchor summer blockbusters.
And that leads us to a look back at her incredible journey and the legacy she leaves behind on screen.
Her rapid rise to fame was really nothing short of remarkable. Born right here in Atlanta, Georgia, into a multi-generational deaf family, Kaylee started out as a child actor doing public service commercials. This included really important campaigns for Glide, which is an app specifically tailored for the deaf and hard-of-hearing community. That early work eventually led to her 2021 breakout as Gia in Godzilla vs. Kong, and just recently, in 2024, she reprised that beloved role in Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire, earning a prestigious Saturn Award nomination for Best Performance by a Younger Actor.
9. That is how old Kaylee Hottle was when director Adam Wingard cast her in this breakout role. Think about that for a second. At just 9 years old, she was tasked with carrying the emotional weight of a multi-million-dollar global franchise. That is an extraordinary feat for any actor, let alone a young child stepping onto a set of that massive scale for the very first time.
And honestly, what a performance it was.
As Gia, the orphaned girl from Skull Island, Kaylee literally became the emotional heart of the entire film. In a movie completely packed with giant CGI monsters and explosive action, it was this young girl forming a unique, heartwarming bond with King Kong through sign language that audiences actually connected with. Her ability to communicate with Kong completely grounded the franchise in genuine, palpable emotion. Put simply, she gave humanity to the monsters.
Kaylee was also fiercely passionate about what her visibility meant. In a past interview, she shared her vision for the future of deaf actors, leaving us with this incredibly empowering quote, "I'm acting in monster movies as a deaf person. I want deaf people to know that they can do that too, just like me. There are no limits. ASL and deafness aren't a barrier. It's just a language, and we can do many things." What an absolutely phenomenal message to leave behind for the next generation.
Finally, I want to talk about the deeply moving response from her family in the wake of all this.
In the midst of unimaginable heartbreak, Kaylee's father, Joshua, actually addressed the 19-year-old driver involved in the accident, and incredibly, Joshua expressed his deep forgiveness to the young man. He publicly urged the driver not to let guilt ruin the rest of his life. At the exact same time, Joshua expressed immense gratitude for the 18 precious years his family got to spend with Kaylee. It is a level of strength, compassion, and profound grace that is truly humbling to witness and report on.
Kaylee Hottle brought warmth, authentic representation, and immense talent to the big screen at a remarkably young age. Her impact on mainstream Hollywood, the deaf community, and millions of moviegoers around the globe is undeniable, and it will not be forgotten. As we wrap up today's Explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought to consider. How can Hollywood ensure that the doors Kaylee opened for authentic deaf representation remain wide open for the next generation? Our thoughts and deepest condolences go out to her family, her friends, and the Texas School for the Deaf community. Thank you for joining me for this Explainer. I'm your host, signing off.